Hola amigos, welcome back to Sonnie's Place. I'm Emma and today I'm going to show you how to harvest and save seeds for my absolute favorite vegetable, asparagus. Let's get started. Asparagus is just one of those vegetables that I just can't get enough of. It's disappointing to know that we only get them for a short period of time. Nothing compares to the crispness of a fresh asparagus spear, and you pair that with that really wonderful nutty flavor. There's just nothing like it. If you look closely behind me, you'll see our asparagus ferns. This is our asparagus bed, and usually by this time of year, early to mid-August, the ferns are nice and tall and rich and green, and they start to develop what look like berries. Berries themselves aren't the seeds and they aren't edible, but they do hold a nice surprise inside. Let me show you. Now there are a couple of ways to harvest these berries to get our seeds for the asparagus. Asparagus is a perennial, which means that it's going to also need a cold period, what we call stratification. One of the ways to harvest your berries is to actually harvest the ferns themselves, and so you can go ahead and cut them down at the base and get a collection of them and tie them together, and you can hang them upside down in a dry, cool place until the berries fully dry themselves and then just drop off of the fern, and you can collect them that way. The second way to harvest the berries is to just simply pull them off of the ferns once they've turned red. The last and most natural way is to let the berries dry on the ferns until they drop to the ground, and then all you have to do is just pick them up. The problem with that is that the berries themselves are quite small. It can prove a little bit of a challenge to try and collect these dried berries off the ground. Regardless of the process you decide to choose on collecting your berries, the seed harvesting itself is the same. You simply get a berry, pop it open, and collect the seeds inside. Each one of these berries can contain anywhere from 1 to 5 seeds inside. This one had 1, 2, 3, 5. 5 seeds in that one berry. I hit the jackpot with that one. Once I've been able to get all the seeds out of our berries, we'll be able to rinse them off. As you can see, they still have a little bit of pulp on them, so we'll want to go ahead and rinse those off pretty well. And then we'll set them to dry for about 2 weeks. We want them completely dry so that we can store them for planting later on. Now there are a couple of different ways that you can plant them. You can go ahead and just harvest the seeds out of the berries and sprinkle them in the soil next to your existing asparagus bed or new bed in the fall, and then go ahead and cover them up and let them sit there over the course of the winter, and then hopefully in spring you'll start seeing some ferns. I'm gonna go ahead and save these seeds, let them dry for a couple of weeks, and then I'm gonna actually put them in the refrigerator for 2 weeks so that they go through that stratification period that I mentioned earlier. And in early spring, when I start doing all of my seed starts, I'll go ahead and start them and get those wonderful young asparagus ferns going. I hope you found that information useful, and I hope you get to grow your own asparagus. Thanks again for hanging out with me today. I'm Emma from Sonnie's Place, encouraging you to grow your best life. Adios.